Hello, fellow leaguers and leaguettes. This is Master Door here to explain Runes and Masteries. Now, like Masteries, runes help you through the early to mid-game part of the game. Now, there are a lot of runes that you can buy for a lot of different reasons. There are runes for specific champions, there are runes for specific roles. There are a lot of things you can do with them. And there are a lot of rune pages you can use in your League of Legends careers. Currently, I have 6. The way you are able to acquire runes is by IP. Now, you can buy your early tier 1 and tier 2 runes at the start of the game, but I recommend not to. Only because tier 3 runes are the best out of all of them, and you'll be pretty much wasting IP by buying tier 1 and tier 2 and then have to buying more tier 3 because runes are expensive in IP. Very, very expensive. It's taken me most of my league career to get these runes. It took me a very long time. Anyway, I digress. Now, you can have more than 1 or 2 rune pages. You would have to buy them out of RP, or you can buy them out of IP, but it takes a lot of IP. I think it's 6,300 currently. Now, as you see, I have a rune page for AD Armor Pen, which is AD Quints, Armor Pen Marks, Armor Seals, and Magic Glyphs. But I have more than this. I have an AP rune page, I have a Shyvana rune page, I have a Tank rune page, I have a Thigh rune page, and I have a Singed rune page. Now, you can have different rune pages for different roles or different champions. It all depends on you. Hello and welcome back. Here's our masteries. Now, as you can see, I have a ton of mastery pages. This is on purpose because I have a lot of mastery pages for specific things. I do have basic mastery pages for junglers who are tanky, junglers who do AD, junglers who do AP, AD carries, AP carries, tanks, supports. But then I have one specific for like Hecarim, Vi, Shyvana, Sion, Ezreal, Nautilus, and I also had Syndrome page. Oh well. Anyway, it all depends on you. For me, I like to customize rune pages for specific champs who have difficulties in roles. For example, Sion. Wait, where is this page? Here it is. For Pacific Standards, Sion. Sion is a very awkward champ to play. He doesn't really have fast jungle clear. He has a bad early to mid game. So if he gets to late game and he gets farmed, well, he's dangerous. For this specific rune page, it helps him jungle very faster and very more efficient in a way that he wouldn't get below low health, which is perfect for me because I love junglers who can go throughout the entire map clearing camps without dying. But I digress. I'm going to further go into what each mastery page does. Starting with the offensive tree, because of course everyone loves to have damage. I'm going to go down the list of each row and explain what they do. First of all, double-edged sword. Double-edged sword says for if you're melee champ, meaning if your champ has an auto attack range of melee, you can deal an additional amount of 2% damage and receive additional amount of 1% damage. If you're ranged, you can do an additional 1.5% damage and receive an additional 1.5% damage. Now, I've honestly never seen anyone use this mastery because no one wants to take extra damage, honestly, and it's sort of useless for a lot of champions. Now, this Fury gives you attack speed. Essentially what it does. The more you put into it, the more attack speed you get, as you see. Next is sorcery. Sorcery gets you cooldown reduction. The more ranks you put into it, the more cooldown reduction you get. It maxes at 5. Fury maxes at 5% attack speed as well. So if you want to have some early cooldown or early attack speed, you'll go get these. Now here is the jungle mastery that I use most of my junglers because I love these jungle masteries. Now this one is Butcher. Butcher says basic attacks and single target spells deal an additional 2 damage to minions and monsters. Meaning every time I hit something, it does extra damage. Put a rank in it. Now for every rank you put into the top row, you can unlock ranks in the bottom row, as you see. So if I will take out ranks, you'll see them disappear because I don't have enough ranks. For example, this requires 4 points in offense and 1 point in Butcher. This one requires 8 points in offense, 3 points in Brutal Force. This requires 8 points in offense, and this requires 8 points in offense and 3 mental force. But yeah, that's how most of the mastery trees work. You have to put ranks in the beginning to get ranks in the end. Also, the way you get more ranks is by leveling up. For example, if you're level 10, that means you only can use 10 points in your mastery page. No more, no less. Well, so you can use less, but I recommend you use more because more is always better for masteries. Anyway, I digress. Next off, Expose Weakness. Damaging an enemy with a spell increases allied champions damage to an enemy by 1% for the next few seconds. I use this mastery not as much as for the effect, just because to put a rank in it, because okay, for support it wouldn't be that bad because it helps your nice little AD carry do more extra damage, which is great. If you have a lot of AoE spells, this is also good for you. I'm just saying. Next, Brutal Force. You gain plus 4 attack damage at level 18. That means plus 0.22 attack damage per level. Put extra ranks into it. At max ranks, which is 3 max, you get plus 10 attack damage at level 18. Next is Mental Force. Mental Force, plus 6 ability power at level 18. Max it, you get plus 16 AP at level 18, which is 0.89 AP per level. Lastly, Feast. Killing a unit restores 2 health and 1 mana. Now for junglers, it isn't that much, but if you add lifesteal into the fact, it's beautiful. So I'm going to put this in there because of course junglers need to get the health back and stuff like that. Anyway, next is Spell Weaving. Damaging an enemy champion with basic attacks increases spell damage by 1%, stacking up to blah 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 time. Now this opens out a lot of interesting combos if you know what your masteries are and how to abuse them. For example, say you're playing Ezreal. You all attack, then you heal them for extra damage, which is actually really useful. Next is Martial Mastery, which gives you plus 4 attack damage. And then Arcane Mastery will give you plus 6 attack AP. Now, if you didn't notice, Mastery Pages gives you more AP than AD. Only because you start out with a base of AD. No one has a base of AP. So everyone starts with 0 AP. So you need to make sure you get yourself AP as possible if you're an AP champion. Next, Executioner. Increases damage dealt to champions below 20% health by 5%. Useful. Now, if you got a point in Spell Weaving, you got a point. You could unlock a point in Blade Weaving. Blade Weaving says damaging an enemy champion with a spell increases base attack damage by 1%, stacking up 3 times. I do not know if either of these Masteries passive stacks. I doubt they would. They probably don't. Most likely they don't. But yeah, for example, again, for dark champions like Ezreal, if you use a lot of spells, you say spell, all attack, doing more damage, blah blah blah. Next, Warlord increases AD by 2%. Oh, sorry, increases bonus AD by 2%. Increase your entire AD by 2% would be really broken. Arch Magic increases AP by 2%. Dangerous Game. Killing an enemy champion restores 5% to missing health and mana, which is useful if you know you're going to kill an enemy champion. It can only be unlocked by the Executioner, by getting full ranks in the Executioner. Next, Frenzy. Critical damage critical hits grants 5% attack speed for 3 seconds. Now, again, I don't really use this mastery that much. It's useful in the case where if you have a champion that critically hits a lot. For example, Training Mirror or Gangplank. Or you just have a critical hits rune page and you want to do as much damage as possible. Then this will help you. Next, Devastating Strikes. It grants you bonus armor and magic pen. Max ranks, it gives you 6%. Oh, I forgot to max rank these. My mistake. Let me show you what they do at max ranks. Increase 5% AP at max ranks for Arc Magic. And increase 5% bonus AD at max ranks for Warlord. Now, Devastating Strike at max rank is 6%, if I didn't already say that. Next is Arcane Blade. Basic attacks also deal bonus magic damage equal to 5% of AP. Now this is useful for AP champions who want to go in the aggressive and have a good auto attack range. Therefore, they want to do as much poking as possible. For example, Annie, who has a dumb attack range for an AP carry, can just auto attack, and use Arcane Blade to do extra damage. Now lastly, but not least, Havoc, which this increases 3% of your damage overall. And that is the offense tree. I'm just going to move on top of it. Stress. Let's take these. Oh, crap. Take this stuff out. Alright, now we're moving on to... Oh wait, we still have 2 points. Okay, now we're moving on to the fences. Starting with block. This reduces incoming damage from champions base attack by 1. Max ranked by 2. Honestly, I've never seen anyone use this mastery. But, yeah, don't actually see people use this at all. I don't even pay attention to it. It's not negotiable. If you want to use it, then use it. But honestly, in my opinion, I don't use it. I don't see any use of it. Recovery gains +1 health per 5 seconds. Yeah. And max rank +2 health per 5 seconds, which is useful. Next, enchanting armor increases your bonus armor and resistance. And max ranks increases by 5%. Now, next, my favorite, the Jungle Masteries. Tough Skin reduces damage taken by 2 neutral monsters by 1%. This does not affect lane monsters. Therefore, what they're saying is, jungle monsters are the only ones that are affected by this. So if you thinking, oh, I can take minions with this mastery, no, you cannot. Lane minions do not count. It only counts for neutral monsters, aka Dragon, Baron, Wolves, Wraiths, Whites, Blue buff, Red buff, and double golems. Max ranks give you +2. Now, if you would actually put in things for block, you'll be unlock unyielding, where it says reduce all incoming damage from melee champions by 2, and by range, reduce all incoming damage from champions by 1. Next is Veteran Scars, which gives you plus flat health. Max Strength, it gives you plus 36 health. Now, my favorite jungle mastery. Bladed Armor, which says taking basic damage from neutral monsters causes them to bleed, dealing damage equal to 1% of their current health each second. Does not work against late minions. Meaning, if you're a jungler, I'm sorry, I'm tired. Oh, I just woke up. Trying to get this video out. Anyway, it says taking basic attack damage from neutral monsters causes them to bleed. This helps if you're a jungler. It just adds on damage to the neutral monsters so you can clear camps faster. Next, Oppression. Reduces basic damage taken by 3% from enemies that have impaired movement, aka slow, snares, taunts, stuns, etc. So pretty much says if someone activates a stun on you, if they root you, you take less damage from it. Next, no, it doesn't. Okay. Next is Juggernaut, which just gives you flat out 3% max health. You can only get this if you put max ranks into Veteran Scars. Next, Hardiness gives you plus 2 armor. Max rank gives you plus 5 armor. Resistance plus 2 magic resist. Max ranks plus 5 magic resist. Now, next we go off to Perseverance, which says regenerates 0.7% missing health per 5 seconds. At max ranks, increases it 2% of your missing health every 5 seconds. Which is useful if you're champions who are like Garen, who have regen off regen, and just don't run out of health. I've jungled Garen once, and I've used this mastery page, and oh my god, I had plus 15% health regen. It was beautiful. I loved it. Next is Swiftness. Reduce the effectiveness by slows by 10%, which is useful. Alright, next is Reinforced Armor, which can only be acquired if you max out Hardiness, which says reduces the incoming damage by critical strikes by 2%. Again, I'm sorry, I just woke up. I have not eaten anything yet, so yes. Next is Evasive, which can only be acquired by maxing ranks and resistance. Which says reduces damage taken by 4% of area effect magic damage. Which honestly is effective, very effective against a lot of AoE champions. AoE aka area of effect champions. For example, Cassiopeia, who has poison, Malzahar, who has that void ring of circle thing. Champions like that. Next, Second Wind, which can only be taken if you have max ranks in Perseverance. This increases self-healing, health regen, lifesteal, and self-vet by 10% when below 25% health. Honestly, I only use it in specific champions who would say need it in clutch moments. For example, Zac. Oh my god, you're below 10%, below 25% health. You pick up a blob, you regen your health back, and you go back in the fight. Things like that. Next, Legendary Armor, Guardian, blah, which gives you plus 1 armor and 0.5 magic resist per their enemy champion. Max ranks, plus 4 armor and plus 2 magic resist for every nearby champion. Next, Runic Blessing. You start the game with a 50 health shield. This shield regenerates each time after respawning. I'm going to say this right now. I hate this mastery for tanks or people in defense. In general, you do not need this mastery. Yes, a shield would be useful, but it's shield every time you die. Meaning you automatically know you're going to die. I don't like it. I don't use it. It's dumb and useless to me. Because I, specifically, don't like to die. So I'll make sure I don't count on dying. Lastly, Tenacious. Reduces incoming damage by crowd control effects by 50%. Crowd control effects are roots, snares, stuns, slows, etc. Now, this gives you as tenacity at the beginning of the game. Tenacity is pretty much the new thing in League of Legends when it comes to Season 3, mid-Season 3. Don't remember when it exactly showed up. But it pretty much says if you reduce the effect of CC. Now, you can get tenacity bonus in masteries and a tenacity bonus in items. Certain items do give you tenacity, which is useful when having 45% tenacity. I think that's the max tenacity you can have. I don't think any champion can go over that count since the Singe nerf of his ultimate where he was able to get tenacity. Alright. Lastly, utility, which a lot of supports should use. Just saying. First of all, Phase Walker reduces casting time of recall by 1 second. And Dominion, it reduces the recall. Oh, sorry. Yes, it reduces time between time of recall by 0.5 seconds. Next, Fleet of Foot, which increases your movement speed by 0.5 at max ranks. Increases your movement speed by 1.5 at max ranks, which is this is very useful because a lot of champions are good with movement speed. Next, Meditation, which gives you mana regen per 5 seconds. Max rank gives you +3 mana regen per 5 seconds. Which again, useful for supports because you run out of mana very easily using all your spells. Next is Scout. This increases the cast range of trinkets by 50%, which is very useful when you're trying to ward over a bush or ward over a wall or something like that. Next, I'll be right back. Great. I apologize. I had a phone call. Next, Summoner's Insight. This reduces the cooldown of Summoner spells by 4%. First ranked, max ranked 10%. Now, Summoner spells does not mean lowers the cooldowns of your actual... Wait, Summoner spells... Yes, this not increases the actual cooldown of your spells, but Flash, Ghost, those kind of spells. Not your actual QWER spells. Just want to get that out there for people who don't know. If not, it would make things very, very annoying. The only places you can get CDR would be from points in sorcery, and do they still have that? No, I don't think they do. Oh yes, and points in intelligence. That's it. But I digress. Next is Strength of Spirit, which can only be acquired at max range by meditation. This gives you bonus health regen per 5 seconds for every 300 maximum mana. Don't actually really get this mastery very much, but I guess it's useful in certain occasions. Next, Alchemist increases the duration of potions and elixirs by 10%, which is very useful if you're trying to get your health back after a short fight in the bot lane or a fight in general. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that. That was someone at the door. Anyway, I was last talking about how Alchemist increases the duration of your potions and elixirs, which is useful not only pots, mana pots, flasks, but for potions like Elixir of Brilliance. They give you AP and cooldown reduction and the Elixir of Fortitude, which gives you health and AD. Next we're going with Greed. Greed gives you plus added gold every 10 seconds. At max ranks, it gives you plus 1.5 gold every 10 seconds. Runic Affinity increases the duration of Shrine, Relic, Quest, and neutral monster buffs. Meaning blue buff, red buff, and Baron buff. Increase duration by 20%. Next, Vampirism, which I use on a lot of things, which gives me 1% lifesteal and spell vamp, and 3% at max ranks, which is very useful for junglers, AD carries, AP carries, etc. Next is the cookie, or sorry, biscuit. I call it cookies, but I like biscuits. I mean, I like saying they're cookies because they feel like cookies and sound you eat them sound like cookies. Anyway, Culinary Mastery. Health potions are upgraded to biscuits that restore an additional 20% health, 20 health, and 10 mana instantly upon consumption. I use these on most of my, I reframe that, all of my mastery pages that have champions that use mana. Therefore, biscuits restore mana, so I use them. Great. Love them. Anyway, next, Scavenger. Plus 1 gold each time an ally kills a nearby lane, which is useful and supports, giving them more gold so they can be more useful. Well, the plus 40 starting gold, useful for that extra 1 health potion you want to take in the game. But seriously, it's useful for a lot of supports who want to start with more rewards in the game or something like that. Open-minded increases maximum mana. Max ranks increases 5 mana at 3 ranks. Next, Inspiration. Plus 5 experience every 10 seconds while near a higher level ally champion. Useful if you are someone like a jungler and you need to catch up a level, or you're a support and you need to catch up in level. You level 14 while they're all 17. So sad. Alright, Bandit. If you are a melee champion, it grants you a plus 15% 15 gold on champion kill or assist. If you're ranged, it grants you plus 3 gold each time enemy champion attack. You should not trigger on the same champion more than once per 5 seconds. On supports, I normally just auto attack the enemy champion, doing a good amount of damage, and get some gold for it, which is fun. Next is Intelligence, which increases your cooldown reduction at max ranks. Cooldown reduction and cooldown of activated items by 4%. Max ranks give you plus 5 cooldown reduction and reduce the cooldown of activated items by 10%. Activated items are items that have been active. For example, the new Shirelius, which is called the Talisman of Ascension. Deathfire Grass, that spell ice crystal thingy some people don't buy anymore. I don't like it, honestly. Things like that. And lastly, Wanderer gives you plus 5 movement speed out of combat, which is useful when you're trying to ward the map and you need to get to place. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you have any questions or concerns about League of Legends. I'm sorry this video came out so late. I've been busy doing a lot of things, important things. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.